Okay, so here's a tip when using your rangefinder. A lot of times we just range a couple points when we get in the blind. We put the rangefinder down and kind of get caught up in the moment when a deer comes in. Normally that works if you know that tree is 30 yards, that stick is 50, but when these deer get out into a food plot, it's really tough to judge distances. When your heart rate gets going and it's a buck and you want to shoot him, he could be a little bit out of your range. So what I do is, I've learned the hard way, is that food plot is going to be deceiving, especially if it's a larger one. This is a small one, but what's deceiving is that I've got 2 funnels coming into it, and I'm going to see those deer long before they get into the field. So I just take a stick and I put it at the breaking point of my first and second pin on my bow, because I know my first pin, anything with my first pin is money. I just have to get the pin on him. Second pin, a little bit trickier. Third pin, even more tricky. I don't take third pin shots normally, as you know. So second pin, I can do it, but I want to know my breaking point for my first pin is between 32 and 34 yards. So I'll err on the side of caution, and I'll put it at 32, and that's where I stuck that stick. I put that stick right at 32. Now I know with my rangefinder, when I go up here, okay, I'm 32 to that stick, and I am 38 to the edge of the weeds. That's a big difference. So he's got to be between the stick and the weeds. Now I could do that around this plot, but I know this narrows down, and I call money. I'm 1 pin all the way in. I love those types of bow hunts when I don't have to think about it. The second thing I like about rangefinders is, especially these ones like these tide weed rangefinders, they have a tracking mode on them. And this is very helpful when I'm hunting bigger areas. Like when we're out in Wyoming, we're hunting a big center pivot field. If I'm watching that deer come in, if I just hold down on that button, it's tracking that deer from 50 to 45 to 43 to 40 to 38 to 35. And when he stops, I know where he's at, and then hopefully I have a reference, or he's within that money shot. So those two things, a scan mode if you have it, and also just is something as simple as a stick at your breaking point between your first and second pins. You're going to be thankful when that deer steps into range.